name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. This is the next episode of Clone Wars that I do with my friend Jessica. She will be linked down below along with her pretty picture at the end, so you can go ahead and click on it and go check out her dupes for this. Today we're going to be doing the Jeffree Star Alien palette, and whenever I saw this, I knew that this was something that I really wanted to go ahead and dupe. I mean, we've already duped the Thirsty palette and we duped the Blood Sugar palette, so we might as well just go ahead and dupe this, right? I think it's really cute packaging. I really do love it. But before I go ahead and get into the dupes, I just want to go ahead and say what we do here is we just go ahead and shop our stash and try to get as close to the colors as we possibly can in our collection. So we're not saying that these are exact. We're not saying that they're the same formula. We're not saying what we have is better. We're just going for pretty much like the same type of color story. We're trying to get as close as we can, okay? So, like I said, it might not be exact. It might not even be the same finish. We just simply shop our stash and do what we can. Now, this is not a palette that I am interested in, but I was curious to see if I could go ahead and dupe it. And this time I managed to get it in only 3 palettes, which I'm really excited about. So that made things easier. I was able to go right into my collection and I knew pretty much what I was gonna go for in this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. The picture of the palette will be somewhere on the screen. And for a lot of these, I had to go ahead and just look at the pans and the shade that is in the pans. And some of them were swatches from Jeffree Star's video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first shade is called Pluto. And I'm going into the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. This is the only Kat Von D palette that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to go with this shade right here. And that is called Absolution. And it's that shade right there. The next one is called Titan. And I went into my e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette. And this one is always so hard to open. I went with this shade right here, which is right there. The third shade is called Alien, and I went into the Revolution, the Emily Edit, the Once palette. That took long enough. The shade is Grateful, which is right here. And it's that one. That's as close as I could get to that green. The next one is called Interstellar, and I went back into the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and I chose the shade Heaven, which is right here. It's that shade. The next one is Abduction, and I went back into the same palette, and I went with this shade right here, which is called Exorcism. And whenever I watched the tutorial, I noticed that the shade is more blue than purple, which is why I chose bluish purple. And it's that one right there. So the next one is called UFO, and I went back into the Emily Edit palette and I chose the shade Top Story, which is right there. And that's that one. The next one is called Gravity. That's so cute with the T. I went back into the Emily palette and I chose the shade Midwest, which is somewhere on, which is right here. That was easily, right here. That was easily found. I'm impressed with myself. That's that shade right there. The next one is called Martian Soil, and I went back into the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and I went with the shade Murder, and that shade is right here. That's that shade right there. The next shade is called Flying Saucer, and I went back into the Emily palette and I chose this shade right here, Corduroy. It's not exact, but it's as close as I could get in my collection. And that's that one right there. The next one is called Phone Home. E.T. Phone Home. One of my favorite movies. So that's really cute. And so I went with the shade, of course it closed on me. Of course it did. I went with this one right here, and it is called Prayer. And it's that one right there. The next one is called Moon Rock, and I went back into my Saint and Sinner palette and I chose the shade Immaculate, which is, why is it always I have trouble? Why is it always? It's right there, and that's the shade right there. Yep. The next shade is called X-Files, and I went back into my e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette. I chose this shade right here, and that's that shade right there. The next shade is called Ghost OG, and I went back into the e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette, and I went with this last shade right here, and it's that one right there. So I realized I made a mistake. I am human. I am sorry. For the shade Abduction, this right here is the dupe for that, which is from the Saint and Sinner palette, and that is called, let's see, what is that called? That is called Exorcism. And so for the shade Abduction, I went back into the same palette and I chose the shade Exodus right here. I apologize, mistakes happen. This one does have glitter in it, but I think that if you go ahead and you tap off your brush, you'll be able to go ahead and get the glitter. But that's a really close dupe, I think, for that shade. So again, this is for Abduction, and this one is for Area 51. Alright, so the next shade is going to be Space Cowboy, and I went back into the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and I chose the shade Sanctuary, which is this one right here. This is one of my favorite shades in the palette, and it is that one right there. The next one is called Probe. That automatically makes me think of South Park and Cartman. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about. That's some funny stuff. So I went back into the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and I chose this one right here, which is called Vestment, and that is that shade right there. We're going to the elbow pretty much, folks. And the next one is called Tall Gray, and so I chose this shade right here from the e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette. It's right there, and it's that one. And the last one is called Black Hole, and that one is just a matte black. So I went back into the Saint and Sinner palette and I chose this shade right here, which is called Sabbath. And that's that. So this is my interpretation of the Jeffree Star Alien palette. I'm really, really happy with these dupes. I know some of them are not exact, but I did my best. I did my best. And I know I will not be purchasing this palette, so hopefully this helps you guys out to save yourself some money. Be sure to go ahead and check out Jessica's dupes. I know that she's got a completely different collection. She concentrates a lot on coastal scents, so you're gonna definitely want to go ahead and check her out for more affordable dupes. Plus it's fun to just see what you have in your collection that is the same, right? So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have an idea for a future Clone Wars, just don't be afraid to go ahead and leave a comment down below, or just simply message us and we will definitely put it on the schedule for you guys. So be sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!